All right. So welcome to day 15. If you're watching this live, it's day 15 of the 100-day challenge. The 100-day challenge we started 15 days ago on our live broadcast, where I said, okay, I want you to watch the recorded broadcasts in between every single day, do one every single day. So we're already, by the end of tonight, we'll be 15% through. Notice I can do that math right in my head. That is amazing. So yeah, let us begin our meditation as usual. Okay, so whether you're doing this live, whether you're doing it again millions of years in the future on a orbital platform somewhere around a brown dwarf in another galaxy, who knows, right? Who knows where these meditations will end up? But whoever you are, wherever you are, let's begin now. So, as usual, I want you to set up your posture. I wear glasses because I'm looking at this screen and I have to manage the YouTube controls. But you don't need your glasses. So take your glasses off, turn off anything that is going to interrupt this in any way. We want the do not disturb on your computer. We want do not disturb on your phone. Lots of do not disturb. Shut everything off completely. That's part of taking your posture. And then I want you to sit, and I want you to sit in such a way that your back is straight. Now, again, as I've said every once in a while in the past, you don't actually have to sit. You could lay down. If you lay down, do it in such a way that your knees are up, either strapped together or with a pillow, so that they're under sort of like the arch of your knees, holding your knees up. You're not using your muscle power to hold them up. And then you're laying flat on your back. That's going to work. Another thing that works and is especially good if you're sleepy, do the meditation standing up. Okay, so all three of those are easy to do. You may even do it while walking, but I think that it's going to be a little too hard with this meditation. So let's say sitting, laying down, or standing. In any of those three cases, you have a straight back. Your back feels upright, very, very, very balanced. Allow your back to move back and forth and front to back till you find that perfect balance spot. And when you find that perfect balance spot, just kind of rest there. Notice how good that feels. Allow the top of your head to lift towards the sky. So not with a lot of, but, just a little bit, this nice, pleasant upward pulling feeling from the top of your head, and tucking your chin just slightly, just enough to make a bunch of wrinkles in your neck. No, just very, very slightly. And that's our meditation posture. So your back is nice and upright. Your shoulders are relaxed and down and maybe even rotated back. Not like, but, just in that really loose, open position. You can have your hands in your lap like this. That's great. That's standard Buddhist mudra. I also, if you want to, you can do this one and either put your hands on your knees like this or have your hands on your knees like that. Under no conditions do you have them up like this with your elbows on your knees. That's the only people who meditate like that are people in stock photos. Nobody really meditates that way. You put your hands flat on your knees, either with the palms down or palms up if you're doing that mudra, or if you're doing kind of the standard Buddha thing like this in your lap. Okay? So there's your mudra. And now tonight we're going to take the metaphor again of sitting like an ocean. Okay, so I want you to just feel yourself sitting like an ocean. What does that mean? It just means the for now, it just means the quality of your mind is vast like an ocean. It's non-resistant like an ocean. It's not resisting anything. It's resting. It's vast. It's open. But it's also tremendously clear, perfectly clear, like the water in, Jamaica or something, where it's just absolutely crystal clear. There's no cloudiness. There's no muddiness. There's no obscurations in the mind. It's absolutely blisteringly clear, like that ocean water. So our mind is vast and spacious. Our mind is receptive and open. Our mind is tremendously clear. So we're sitting like an ocean. So take on those qualities now. And then let's set our intention for this meditation. Usually I let you set your own intention. But tonight I'm just going to say the intention for this meditation is to cut through all obscurations to see the pristine nature of awareness directly. Okay, we're going to cut through all obscurations to see the pristine nature of awareness directly. Okay, that's our intention. So set that intention. And then what I want you to do is notice that again, like we did last week, bubbling up out of this water on a white lotus is the Buddha Samantabhadra. Okay, the primordial Buddha, Samantabhadra. Samantabhadra is dark blue. Okay, all dark blue. He's completely naked. He's got like dreadlocks or really kind of flowy hair, dark blue, naked. He's on this white lotus. And this is the primordial Buddha. Samantabhadra means everything good, all good. And he's considered to be the Buddha that creates the ground of being. It's the ground of being Buddha. It's the reason there's anything. Okay, so that's why it's primordial, the primordial Buddha. So picture this primordial Buddha in front of you. So you're sitting like an ocean, and out of this perfectly clear ocean water arises this beautiful, shimmering white lotus with glistening water on its petals. And there's this all blue Buddha. This all blue Buddha seated in a lotus posture. It's really dark blue too. It's almost like indigo. The primordial Buddha, Samantabhadra, all goodness. And I want you to think about this ultimate enlightened being and the mind of this ultimate enlightened being. Think about the wisdom and clarity of that mind and really bring up the properties of wisdom and clarity. And then think about the love and joy and kindness in this primordial Buddha, and bring up, really feel that sense of love and joy and kindness. And we bring that up. And then imagine just how playful and spontaneous and free, playful and spontaneous and absolutely free this primordial Buddha is. So you're bringing up wisdom and clarity, joy and kindness and love, and playfulness and spontaneity and freedom. Remember, of course, Buddhas are enlightened, and enlightened is a Western word. The real word in the original languages, no matter what the original language is, like Sanskrit or Pali or Tibetan or whatever, Chinese, it always means not enlightenment, it means free. They are free. They're experiencing liberation. So enlightenment, we get it sort of has this idea in English like, oh, they get it. But what they get is freedom. They are free. So this primordial Buddha, Samantabhadra, is absolutely free, absolutely spontaneous, joyous, absolutely playful, kind, radiating love, full of wisdom and clarity. And now imagine that a light comes on in Samantabhadra's belly, and that light beams out. It's a blue light. It's a red light, and it beams out red light into your belly. And you take on that freedom and playfulness and spontaneity coming right from Samantabhadra to you. Just like a laser beam into your body, filling you up with playfulness, spontaneity, laughter, freedom. And then another light turns on in Samantabhadra's heart, this beautiful white light, and then it beams out for Samantabhadra into your heart. It fills your heart with joy and kindness and love, and it's just radiating, radiating, radiating joy and kindness and love. And then a blue light goes on in Samantabhadra's dark blue forehead. Bing, comes straight into you, wisdom and clarity, wisdom and clarity, wisdom and clarity. So you have these three beams, like a blue laser beam, a white laser beam, a red laser beam, coming to your third eye or your forehead in imagination, your heart in imagination, in your belly in imagination, filling you up with these qualities of wisdom and clarity, joy and kindness, play, spontaneity, and freedom. So just feel that now. And then Samantabhadra just whoop comes right into you, and all the lights collapse into your heart. And from your heart now, just radiating out, radiating in all directions, wisdom and kindness, love and compassion and joy, clarity, spontaneity, play, fun, freedom. Just radiating, radiating, radiating in all directions from you is this brilliant light. And then the light grows smaller and smaller and smaller till it's just a dot in your heart, just a tiny LED in your heart, but very bright, very bright. And then from there, we just begin to do our concentration on breath. So breathing in, we feel, we stay with the feeling of the breath all the way to the bottom of the in-breath. And then we stay with the feeling of the breath all the way to the end of the out-breath, and we just dissolve. And then it comes back, feeling the feeling of the in-breath all the way to the bottom of the in-breath, feeling the out-breath, out-breath, out-breath all the way to the end of the out-breath. And we just keep going with that. We stay with it clearly. We stay with it continuously. Okay? So no more visualization. We're just feeling our breath and staying with that, using those qualities of wisdom and clarity, spontaneity, joy, play, kindness, compassion, love, and just allowing our Samantabhadra nature to stay with the breath, to stay with the breath, to stay with the breath. Of course, Samantabhadra has no problem staying with the breath. The primordial Buddha has no problem meditating. So as you've taken on some of those properties, it's very easy for awareness itself to stay with the breath. So I'll be quiet now for a while while we do that together. Each time you get lost in thought, just come back to staying with the breath, staying with the breath, staying with the breath. So we're staying with the breath. Simply staying with the breath, staying continuously. If you want to help yourself to stay more and more continuously, find details in the breath and make them more vivid and clear. See them with much more clarity, see them with much more vividness. And it will help to engage awareness. As I said, remember, Samantabhadra is very good at meditating. So, because we've taken on the properties of Samantabhadra, it helps us to stay with our shamatha practice much more easily. So, let's just do a few more minutes of this. Okay, good. Now, from the power of the primordial Buddha, Samantabhadra, Samantabhadra. I keep saying it wrong. Samantabhadra. Samantabhadra. We're going to notice that we have access to pristine awareness. Pristine awareness is awareness completely non-involved with conceptualization of any kind. So I want you to just sit as an ocean, just an ocean of primordial awareness. Absolutely clear, limpid, lucid, bright, crisp primordial awareness. Totally at ease and totally vast. And then we're going to do something we haven't done very often, which is, and then if you notice that at any moment this gets caught in conceptualization, we take Samantabhadra's Vajra, his Vajra, and we just cut through it, cut through the conceptualization and come back to resting as pristine awareness. And that's what we're doing. We're resting as pristine awareness. If we notice the mind gets caught up, instead of just dropping the ball like we normally do, we're going to just cut through the ball. Right? We're just cutting through the conceptualization and then coming back to vast, spacious, ocean-like, crystal clear awareness. Okay, so let's do that. We're doing this very playfully, joyfully, lovingly. And we're not sitting around like hunting thoughts. That's not what thoughts can be there as much as they want. It's just simply if we get caught up in them, we use our Vajra to just cut through them and then come back to resting as ocean-like, pristine, shining, crystalline, unencumbered, naturally primordial, pure, pristine awareness. Let's try that now. Again, we're just resting as this primordial ocean of pristine awareness. And that's it. Unless our mind gets caught in conceptualization, then whew, just cut through it, reset, come back to pristine awareness, and just rest. Notice that this is not just dropping the ball. There's the activity of thoroughly cutting through. We're using the wisdom of Samantabhadra to just cut through instantly through any conceptualization of any kind, and then coming back to our primordial nature, our primordial, bright, clear, shining awareness. Very, very good. Now, let's talk about conceptualization. It's not just thinking, it's even the arising of a sense of self. So again, we're resting in our natural primordial purity as the Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. Samantabhadra is absolutely pure from the very beginning. And so not only when thoughts arise, can we just cut through them with our clarity, thoroughly cut through them with clarity very quickly, very easily, and come back to our primordial ocean of clarity and purity and wisdom. But if a sense of self arises, that's a kind of conceptualization. If you notice the feeling of being you arise, if I notice the feeling of being Michael arise, same thing, cut right through it. Now, again, it's allowed to be there, but it's when I say, if I feel it coming up, if I feel myself getting caught in it, if awareness is getting caught in it, just like if awareness is getting caught in thought. So it's okay if it's there, but it's not okay if you're being it. If you feel primordial, pristine, vast, oceanic awareness becoming the sense of self, then cut right through it, come back to resting in this crystalline clear awareness with no limits. Good. Some of the other properties of Samantabhadra are that he represents the primordial awareness that has been here since the beginning of time, right? Our own Buddha nature, our own pristine awareness. And this pristine awareness is outside of time and space. It exists before space and before time. So again, resting is this vast ocean, or let's say boundless ocean of awareness. If we notice the mind getting involved in thinking, cut through it. If we notice the mind getting involved in personality, cut through it. But if you notice the mind even getting involved in boundary, even getting involved in time, even getting involved in being located in a place in space, just cut through it. This is the ocean of primordial awareness, unencumbered by boundary, unencumbered by time, unencumbered by thought or personality, absolutely free, absolutely joyous, absolutely kind and loving, absolutely wise and clear. Come back to rest in that. If it gets caught in anything, cut through, come back to resting as pristine, primordial awareness. Good. Now, even if there's a sense that you're doing the cutting, cut through that. The thorough cutting through, the thoroughly cutting through is doing itself. The awareness does that by itself. It takes no effort at all. So if you feel like you're doing something, the Vajra of perfectly clear, perfectly crisp, bright, Primordial awareness, free from the very beginning, just cuts through the sense of doing. Nobody's doing it. It just cuts through. And we come back to rest as primordial awareness. We get caught in thought, cut through it. Caught in personality, cut through it. Caught in time and space, cut through it. Caught in being a doer, cut through it, cut through it, cut through it. The primordial awareness does this of its own accord. Good. Now just continue resting as primordial awareness, awareness uninvolved with anything, awareness simply sparkling with purity, clarity, kindness, playfulness, openness, deep, deep, deep wisdom, and yet at the same time, utterly free, utterly at rest. This is your own Buddha nature, perfect from the very beginning, absolutely clear. Rest as that now. If it becomes involved with anything, the Vajra cuts through it of its own accord. Good. Now bringing in all that energy from Samantabhadra, remembering that it's existing as a point of light in the heart. Again, radiate out this primordial wisdom energy, clarity, love and joy and compassion and kindness and playfulness and spontaneity and freedom, and just radiate this out from the heart in all directions as Samantabhadra, as the indigo Buddha on the white lotus in the middle of the infinite ocean, radiating out wisdom, clarity, kindness, love, joy, spontaneity, playfulness, freedom. Just let that radiate in all directions, radiate in all directions, spontaneously, effortlessly, with tremendous power. Do that now. Okay, good. Now from our hearts, we thank the Adi Buddha, the primordial Buddha, Samantabhadra, all goodness. And then we let go of the meditation. As we let go of the meditation, we feel free to move and stretch. Take a drink of water like I'm going to do right now. And we remember, as always, that even though we're ending the meditation, it's not like our primordial awareness went anywhere. It didn't go away. That doesn't leave at the end of the meditation. That's always there. It's the basis upon which everything is, or within which everything is appearing to arise, right? So, and even that is, in a sense, empty. But the primordial awareness, it's not a special state, and it's not a special thing that we're only generating when we're meditating. It's always there. And in fact, we can kind of think of it the other way around, that the meditation arises in primordial awareness, and then going about our day arises in primordial awareness, and then cooking dinner arises in primordial awareness. Primordial awareness is the thing that's always there, right? Even though it too is empty. So when we end the meditation, we might not be, doing a technique about primordial awareness, but primordial awareness, your pristine awareness, or awake awareness is always there. And everything else is just like a dream arising in awake awareness. So Samantabhadra is like the Buddha of primordial awareness. The Buddha that makes the world appear. And so working with that image in meditation can be really interesting and powerful. What's funny is that very often people look at the kind of meditation we're doing here on this YouTube channel and they'll say something like, oh, that's open monitoring, or oh, that's Chuladasa awareness, or whatever. And sure, kind of, but not really. And what's the difference? Well, the difference is that you can sit in awareness, in regular awareness, and just sit being aware. And maybe you're not caught up in thought, or not too much caught up in thought. But other than that, you're just sitting using kind of the normal awareness. And by normal awareness, I don't mean primordial, because that's the truly normal awareness that's beneath everything. But I mean the awareness that is caught up in time and space, and that is caught up in personality, and that's making objects out of the world around you, and that's making objects out of the sense of self, right? It's completely caught up in reification, right? Technical term, reification, making things out of things. And so if we're just sitting quietly, kind of being with what is as normal awareness, nothing's happening, right? I mean, or to put it in another way, our meditation isn't helping very much. We might be getting relaxed and maybe a little clearer, a little more stable, but that's not what we're doing. Okay, or we could put it another way. We're starting with that, but as you notice, every week we do the Vipassana, or like tonight we did this thoroughly cutting through, this total cutting through. And so that is taking us, it's removing the reification of thought, the reification of emotion, the reification of the sense of self, the reification of time and space, the reification of the world around us, and revealing, so to speak, the primordial awareness that was always present beneath that. And that's what we're sitting with, is this pristine, clear, shining, object-free awareness, right? That's different than just sitting there. And so sometimes we confuse these two things. And certainly when we first sit down, we may start with just regular awareness. But over the course of each meditation, we're stripping away any sense of objects being solid, or objects, being something that our awareness can get all up inside, right? We're stripping that away and noticing primordial awareness, allowing primordial awareness. And in primordial awareness, all thoughts, all feelings, all personality, all sense of time and space, all sense of the world around us, all sense of doership, all of that can still be there, but it's seen as empty. It's seen as empty. That's it. It's seen as empty. So that's what we mean by primordial awareness. And that's what you really are, even though, that's kind of a funny way to put it. And Buddhist scholars might get mad at me for saying it that way, but that's what you really are. You're not thoughts, you're not feelings, you're not your body, you're not the world around you. If you're anything, it's primordial awareness, right? Primordial awareness, even though that's empty too. So when we sit here and do this meditation, I want you to understand it's not just sitting here. Even when some people call it just sitting, but it's special just sitting, right? And so it's important that we don't waste years and years of our life just sitting there, being with what is, with totally normal awareness. Because like reifying self and world continuously forever, that doesn't do anything except, again, maybe help us sit a little more calmly with a little less fidgeting and so on. We want to open up to this already existing primordial awareness, and we might do it bit by bit. Sometimes, however, it might just be there. Why? Because it's always there. And so just for whatever reason, accidentally, the clouds part, and there it is. But if that doesn't happen accidentally, then we have this method of Vipassana where we see the emptiness of stuff, or this cutting through, which in Sanskrit is called Chedana, right? Cutting. Or in Tibetan, and my Tibetan pronunciation is always wrong, but in Tibetan it's called something like Trecho. Trecho. In English, if it's spelled out, it looks like Trekchad, but Trecho. So thoroughly cutting through, absolutely cutting through. What are we cutting through? We're cutting through the apparent thingness of things and seeing them as empty. Empty doesn't mean they're not there. It means they are a dream. What are they a dream in? They're a dream in primordial awareness, right? They're a dream in our awake awareness, our most basic, pristine awareness, that Samantabhadra. For some reason, I just can't say that right these days. Samantabhadra represents. So that's an easy word for it is Buddha nature, right? Tathagata, same thing. They're all pointing to this deep, the deepest thing there is. That's why it's called primordial. It's the basis. In Tibetan, the Z, right? The ground. It's called the ground. The ground of being. That's primordial awareness. And the only reason we're not just basking in that obviously all the time is because there's like this layer of what we might call our stuff, deep psychological stuff, deep animal stuff that is takes the energy of primordial awareness and turns it into regular awareness, right? By kind of gumming it up and slowing it down and filling it with apparent objects. So this is really what we're about here. Okay, we want to connect with our pristine awareness, our primordial awareness, our awake awareness, and even when we do our shamatha with an object, our concentration meditation, right? What are we doing there? Well, of course, we're making the mind stable. But we're doing more than that. We're raising energy, right? When we get concentrated, it kind of raises energy. It lifts our mind up out of the muck and into more of an ability to connect with primordial awareness. So, and then when we get there, because we did the shamatha with an object, because we did the concentration, it's more stable. Now, of course, awake awareness, primordial awareness, pristine awareness, Buddha nature, those are all words for the same thing. It's already stable in itself, but we have these habits of getting caught up in reification, getting caught up in thinking, getting caught up in this or that, getting caught up in our smartphone, whatever, and that destabilizes, pulls us out of it, right? So we do the concentration meditation, whether it's on breathing or visualization or whatever, we're doing that to stabilize the mind and uplift the energy so that it's much easier to recognize, to cut through and recognize awake awareness and then rest as awake awareness. So I want you to realize what we're doing here is just not just simply sitting in awareness. We are constantly, when we do the the Vipassana, we're pulling aside the curtains, we're pulling aside the curtains, we're pushing away the fog, cutting through, cutting through, cutting through, cutting through, until the radiant light of Samantabhadra, I said it right, can come through, can shine through without any obscurations. It's always there. It's always there. And in one way of looking at it, there's nothing to do, because even the obscurations are just manifestations of the light. So in one way of looking at it, there's literally nothing to do. You're already there. And if you're aware of that right now as an experience, not just an idea, but as a living experience, there you are, you're there. Nothing to do. If that experience seems just like an idea, a cool idea, then we cut through thought, we cut through emotion, we cut through, we cut through, we cut through until that becomes an experience. And you can do it. It's not that hard. If you follow these instructions, you'll be able to notice it, at least for a moment. Free, clear, awake awareness. Okay? And remember, that doesn't mean that thoughts and feelings and all that aren't there, because awake awareness can think, it can feel, it can have a personality, it can go around in the world. It's free, it can do all that. It just doesn't buy into any of that as solid objects. And so that's the difference. Okay, let's go into looking at your questions. Ankit says, what's my take on extreme non-dual dudes who say that practice is counterproductive? Well, show me. That's my take. Show me. And what Ankit is referring to is, in many kind of extreme non-dual traditions, they say that even meditating at all is counterproductive because it's kind of buying into the doer. But hey, are they saying the same thing about eating? Is eating counterproductive? Because when I like make dinner, am I doing it with a sense of the doer? And am I lifting the fork to my mouth with a sense of a doer? If I am, okay, then eating's counterproductive, so you better stop that. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you're right. In a way, there's nothing to do. But in another way, if that's not your experience, then there is something to do. Okay? So my take is that kind of extreme non-dualism is philosophically more satisfying, but it doesn't get you anywhere. That's what I mean by show me. It's like, okay, demonstrate that you are right now in, primordial awake awareness. Not just as an idea, but as your moment by moment experience of life. And if you can't, then you've got something to do. There's still gunk in the way of your actual Buddha nature. Okay. M. Anthrax asks if primordial awareness is like dark matter. And you thought about turning off electrons and all that. Sounds like you're doing a little bit too much visualization, Anthrax. You want to all you're doing is they're not. They are just appearances, just appearances, just appearances. We're not making them go away. We're seeing their appearance nature and then resting as awareness again. So you don't need to do any extra visualizations for that part, okay? Sean says, condolences to Chuladasa. Yeah, Chuladasa, the Buddhist teacher, also known as John Yates, PhD, author of The Mind Illuminated, died a couple days ago. And so Chuladasa was a powerful teacher who introduced tens of thousands of new meditators to meditation, and took a lot of other people who've been meditating a long time and really, really helped to deepen their practice. That book, The Mind Illuminated, influenced a lot of people's practice. It's a different practice than what we're doing here in certain ways, but in other ways, if you follow that system of getting real concentrated, it would really help to do the kind of meditation we're doing here. So Sean is asking, would I say that this primordial awareness is similar to metacognitive awareness that Chuladasa explains? Yes, but metacognitive awareness again, can still be clouded with reifications. So it's not just that, although it includes that. Primordial awareness includes that. Let's have a moment, even though, there's some controversial stuff about Chuladasa. He did some stupid shit, just like we all do, because he was a human being. Nevertheless, as an amazing Dharma teacher and meditation teacher, and someone who really helped a lot of people's lives, let's have a moment of silence together for John Yates, Chuladasa, who died. Good. So rest in peace, Chuladasa. All right, back to the questions. Christopher Lewis is asking a question that would take like 6 weeks to unpack properly. He asks, when thoughts arise, but awareness is inside the thought, is that one taste yoga in the Mahamudra tradition? Can you say something about the difference between one taste dharmakaya and crossing over? Sure, but do you got to spare 30 hours? We could talk about that and it'd be interesting. Here's what I'll say. What is one taste yoga? What does that mean? Well, we just we're playing with that a little bit, or playing with a practice that would get you to that. That is, if you're seeing the emptiness of all arisings, even those arisings seem like different things, a coffee cup, some car keys, a watch, a wallet, a smartphone, the outside world, a bird, a tree, all of those seem like different things. And in a way, as appearances, they are different shapes, different colors, all that. No one's denying that. At the same time, they all have the underlying property of awake awareness. They all have the underlying property of emptiness. That's the one taste part. They all taste the same. So that's what that means. Heather Moorcroft, love the sound effects of cutting through. Can do that all day long. You're welcome for the meditation, and thank you. Fool Jeff says, slash the one who's thinking of questions, ask Michael, slice the concept of observer, clang against the conceptual sword, cutting concept, silence as the joy pierces a serious meditator. And then he gives thanks for the meditation. Yeah, thank you for that lovely poem. Colin 5 says, seems like continuously referring the mind, referring, I think you mean to the mind, takes away from the experience of being and creates problems. Yet there is also no one referencing the mind. Is it just a habit of the mind and building a new habit, staying out of the mind? Yeah, being inside, it depends on what you mean by mind, but being inside thought all the time is just a habit. What we're doing here is building an opposite habit of letting go of being in the mind, right? We just did kind of an active version of dropping the ball, right? And it's just building an anti-habit, which in a way is saying letting go of the original habit. Yeah. Gabriel Ortiz says, when I let go of time and space, I get caught up in the thought a bit, then cut through the thought and fall through timelessness for a moment. Then time snaps back. Any thoughts on this movement? Yeah, that snapping back, that's the habit. That's why you're not just walking around noticing your own total awakening at every moment, because there's this habit of letting it all snap back. Now, again, it's not that it's not there. It's that we just need to see its emptiness. So that's why if it snaps back, cut through it, come back to primordial awareness. Rest in primordial awareness. You're not looking for stuff to cut. You're just resting as primordial awareness until something starts to congeal again, and then cut through it. And then eventually, when even the doer is cut through, primordial awareness just cuts through. There's nobody doing it. Primordial awareness does it. And then after a while, things are just not arising as reified objects. And so awareness just rests. Primordial awareness just rests in perfect clarity. Sometimes when we say in this type of meditation that it's just do nothing and just rest, people think we mean like just sit there and go to sleep or take a nap or just kind of chill out. And it's like, well, sometimes that's useful. That's not absolutely unuseful as a thing to do, but that's in the long run, that's not our meditation practice, right? We are, when we say rest, we mean rest as awake awareness, a rest as primordial awareness, tremendous clarity, unencumbered by any reification, uninvolved with any objects, absolutely stunningly, exquisitely aware of the fabulous display of the world, the fabulous, empty, dreamlike display of the world. That's what we're doing. Okay. So let's meditate again here in a minute after I do the money pitch. So now strap in, folks, because I'm going to do the money pitch. By the way, what happened with the meditation tonight is that YouTube just crashed on me, like boom, full on crashed, and then trying to reestablish the live stream was really challenging. So that was YouTube's fault right there. So YouTube is interestingly unstable. Okay, so let's talk about money. So you don't have to have any money to watch this live stream, assuming you have a free computer and free internet, or a free phone, and you're in a coffee shop, or your friend is letting you watch it. But these meditations I offer to you out of the bottom of my heart. This is just, it makes me happy every week to offer you these guided meditations. I really like it. And so please feel free, absolutely free and unencumbered. Enjoy these, learn from them, share it with your friends. I want people on every continent to be able to do these. I want people with in any economic situation to be able to do these. I want everyone everywhere who has any interest in this at all to be able to contact this completely for free. Okay, so that is my sankalpa, that's my wish, that's my goal, that's my desire. Okay, and if you are feeling generous, you want to help me do that, you want to help me get more stable, although that one was my fault, equipment, all that, or you just feel like giving back, whatever you want, then we have a donation link where you can donate. And any donations, like I say, just doing this makes me happy. To answering your questions makes me happy. The fact that you all show up to do these guided meditations makes me happy. And also, hey, if you give a donation, I smile, right? It's not like that doesn't make me happy too. That makes me happy too. Beyond that, however, we also have the podcast for free, Deconstructing Yourself podcast. This next one is a little late, but we will get a new one out as soon as possible. We've got the deconstructingyourself.com website, totally for free. We've got the Deconstructing Yourself Discord server, lots of channels on there, lots of people, got about 800 folks on there talking about meditation, helping each other to practice in practice pods. There's a book club on there where people are reading meditation books. The Discord server is a huge resource for you and totally for free. Beyond all that, we've got some classes and retreats coming up. The big retreat coming up is me and Tucker Peck in early November. I believe it's November 4th through 8th. So that's on Tucker Peck's website. There'll be a link in the chat. And then there's one with Dharmacanics. People are having trouble right now getting into Dharmacanics. So we'll just say there's another, that's not a retreat, that's just a little workshop. And then I've got a new class coming up, another round of Vast Sky Mind. That's going to start October 18th. And I think we've got I think we worked out all the bugs in the payment links. So that page will probably go live in the next couple of days where you can sign up for a 12-week course. It'll go from mid-October to January 3rd, 12 weeks in a row where we will be doing non-dual meditation. You'll learn this whole system that I'm teaching here on the live YouTube. So that's it, friends. Sorry about the crash tonight. I'll probably hack those two live videos together, these two live videos into a non-live video that you can watch. And maybe next week we'll do another Samantabhadra meditation, just so I can learn to pronounce the name correctly. But also I really love working with Samantabhadra. Another name for Samantabhadra, another name for the Indigo Buddha is Vajra. So it's an easier one to say, Vajra. In any case, thanks for joining me on this live stream, this very delicate, non-reified live stream. And thanks for joining day 15 of the 100-day meditation challenge. It's a challenge in more ways than one. And please do an hour, one of these hour-long videos each day of the week until next week, when we'll have day, if I'm not mistaken, 22. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. As always, so much love to you all. And I'll see you again next week.